Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you back to another amazing episode here on the Fit Mother Project podcast. Today, we have a special interview with one of our Fit Mother Project members, Dee Dee Perry. And Dee Dee is an amazing woman who used our Fit Mother program to lose over 45 pounds, basically reverse her diabetes, reverse fatty liver, and lose inches off her body without doing any exercise. Yup. Dee Dee followed the entire phase 1 program, dialed in her nutrition. She did it with her husband. They saw phenomenal success, and she wasn't hitting the weights. Now, she is starting to exercise now and getting into her next phases. But what I think is so powerful about Dee Dee's story is if you're feeling right now like this health stuff can be overwhelming, you might be underestimating the power of making some simple changes to eating better, to hydrating, and maybe most of all, getting your mindset right. And for Dee Dee, it kind of came from some scary stuff with her health. You're going to hear in her story about some of her diagnoses and things that she went through that kind of served as a wake-up call for her to shift the way she was living her life. And very thankfully, her husband came along with her and they were able to make a really powerful transformation. And in some sense, changed an entire family generational structure of diabetes and stuff like this that kind of had plagued her family tree for a long time. So Dee Dee, as you're listening to this, you are absolutely wonderful. Our team is so proud of you for the changes you've made, as well as the changes to come. And for everyone else listening to this, this is a very encouraging and inspiring conversation with one of our beautiful Fit Mothers about her journey. And I hope this just inspires you, it fills your heart, and you can just feel the gratitude and the life and the happiness that comes off Dee Dee because she's walking the path, she's feeling aligned, she's putting in the right kinds of actions, and she has trust in the process. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode with Fit Mother Dee Dee. All right, Dee Dee, welcome officially to the Fit Mother Project podcast, my friend.
Hey there, good to see you. Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a fun one, I can already tell. And to kick things off, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to all the ladies listening, your name, your age, where you're from, and anything you'd like to share about what you do for work in your family.
Yes. Well, my name is Dee Dee Perry. I live in Bryant, Arkansas. I'm 51. I've been a nurse for 30 years. So I've been staying busy with that. I do home health nursing. Mm-hmm. So I go from home to home. And that's where I gained all my weight 17 years ago. And so we'll get more to that. But I have 2 kids. They're grown. One's almost out of the nest. And the other one is out of the nest. Got a 26-year-old girl named Monica. And then I got a 21-year-old boy named Adam. And we've got a wonderful puppy dog named Buddy. He's a little Boston Terrier. And got a cat, Callie. So we're staying busy over here.
For sure you are. It sounds like you have a really full and beautiful life. And so I kind of want to ask you, you alluded to a little bit that you gained weight throughout the process of your home nursing and stuff like that. So what prompted you to find the program? How did you find the program, and what was going on in your life around that time?
Right. I just steadily started gaining weight slowly over 17 years while I was in home health nursing. Mm-hmm. Of course, making the wrong decisions, getting in a hurry, not preparing lunch, not being prepared, always going through the drive-through, and just really packed on that weight. Then I was diagnosed in 2020 with breast cancer. And, I thought, I need to start kind of taking better care of myself. What am I doing? But I spent most of my time and energy, doing the treatments, getting that taken care of. Now I'm in remission.
Nice.
And then, so I see my oncologist every 3 months. And I noticed that my blood work was out of whack. It was, my blood sugars were over 150. Mm-hmm. My blood pressure started going up. I just didn't feel good. I just physically did not feel good. My mom's got diabetes. My brother has diabetes. Everybody on that side has diabetes. So that scared me into, hello, I need to take care of myself. So I went to see one of my physicians. I had trigger finger, and she said, a lot of times this is because of diabetes. Well, that was all I needed. That night I came home, I was scared. I got on the internet and just started looking around. What can ladies do after 50? Maybe some weight training or something. And then I landed on you. And I really loved what you had to say. And it just hit home. And watching the other ladies that you had interviewed and everything, I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And so I went ahead and got signed up for the program and did my first 30 days and just did great. And then just stuck with it. just the nutrition part. I just did the first 30 days and didn't do the exercise part, just stuck with the nutrition. And since then I've lost 45 pounds. So it's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. And have you seen any changes to your blood work or anything other related to your health?
Yes, unbelievable. My A1C is now normal.
Nice.
It was almost, it was like 6.3 or 6.4.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. And also my blood sugars came down. Then my fasting blood sugars were in the 150s. Now they're in the 90s and 80s. Amazing. Blood pressure, don't take blood pressure pills anymore.
Nice.
I've got normal blood pressure now. It was in the 150s, 160s, over 70s or 80s on the bottom. So now it's back down to normal, about 120s over 60. You know, with my scans that I do every year for my cancer, the year before it showed that I had fatty liver.
Mm-hmm.
And that scared me too, because I'm like, oh my goodness, like I survived cancer, but then I'm going to have fatty liver.
Yeah.
No, I can't have this,
Yeah.
And so once I started the program, started losing the weight, then last October, I did another CT scan, no evidence of fatty liver, zero. So amazing. So just to regain my health back has just been such a blessing, absolute blessing. And, you know, and that's what I put on my, you know, my goals, you know, when I first started the program, you know, I want to regain my health.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want more cancer. I don't want the high blood pressure. I don't fatty liver disease. I certainly don't want that. So that was kind of the goals that kind of scared, I guess I got scared and, you know, for my health. And I think where a lot of us get in trouble is, you know, our health goes down to zero and we don't take care of ourselves until we get scared or we have to. And we really should be doing this all along. And I'm a nurse. I should know that. Yeah, you know, and there's feeling some guilt there because, you know, I'm not taking care of myself like I was supposed to.
Yeah.
And, but yes, definitely health-wise, so much better. And I was even having joint pain in my elbows. When my granddaughter was born, she was only like 8 pounds. And I remember talking to my oncologist and I said, my elbows hurt so bad when I hold the baby. And she's like, how big was this baby when she was born? Like 30 pounds or something? I said, no, she's 8 pounds. And that's when I started to realize my health is just going down. I've really got to do something. Mm-hmm. Now I've got energy like you wouldn't believe. This grandbaby's now 2 years old. I can carry her around with no pain, carry her around the house, no big deal. So it's just amazing. It really is.
Well, I gotta say, I am so happy for you. I mean, how life-changing, like, and the numbers just don't lie. Metabolically, you're just like a new person inside.
Yes.
Like, and for those who don't know all the things that you know about this, is like, obviously we know the high blood pressure is bad, pressurizing the system, more stress on the heart. And then the fatty liver is when fat accumulates in that liver, which often coincides with the diabetes, the metabolic issues. But you cleared all that out and your energy's there. So like, it's amazing. So how did you do it? Please tell us like what you took from the 30 days of Fit Mother 30X and like what you really implemented into your life, what really resonated with you and some of the powerful changes that you made. And if you're open to sharing like how you did it too, any of the mental stuff, any of the, how you scheduled, the kind of food you prepared, let's dive into how you did it.
So I studied the meal plan. So when you are on that first 30 days, you provide a meal plan, which is absolutely incredible. I struggled with what to bring to eat for lunch for home health. You know, I'd always feel shaky by the end of the day. Just whatever I would eat, even if it was fast food, it just didn't satisfy me. It just wasn't the sustenance there. And so my favorite, and I had it today for lunch as well, my favorite is the Ezekiel bread, turkey, avocado. That's what I have for lunch every day since I started the program. An apple every day since I started the program. That's my lunch. Nice. When I first started, I did the omelet that you provided. Yeah. But it was so much food after a while. I was like, this is too much. Yeah. So I just cut down to 2 eggs a day. Nice. But I was doing the omelet religiously, doing the turkey avocado every lunch, except for, on weekends. And then at nighttime, me and my husband was doing the perfect plate. So we would do, the half a plate of veggies, 25% starches, 25% proteins. And it made all the difference in the world. And, I think the biggest support for me was having my husband on board.
Yeah.
I think if he was still eating the fast food in front of my face every day, I don't really think I could have stayed on track. And he said to me, I can tell you felt bad. That's why I wanted to support you during this. I could see your health going down, and I just wanted to be on board with you. He's also lost 45 pounds.
Nice.
It's just eating what I'm eating.
Yeah.
So, he used to eat out lunch every day. He also does that, the sandwich during the day as well. So, I mean, he's just mimicking everything that I've done. And he's also lost 45 pounds. And it's made a big difference. Just absolutely amazing. So, on weekends where we've got it kind of down, if we go out to eat, we usually study the menus before we go. So we don't have that game time decision. Oh my gosh, I'm here and here's this big menu and what do we do, and make the wrong decision. So we will study the menu before we go and decide what's the best thing, for us to get wherever we're going. A lot of times now we'll go to like a Mexican restaurant and we'll just share an order of fajitas.
Exactly.
So we just share whatever, entree that's there, because it's just too much food.
Yeah.
And, we'll sit there and have supper and talk about, can you believe what we used to eat? Can you believe this? I mean, we just have made such a turnaround.
Yeah.
Food for us was such a social event, such an activity. It was, if we went on vacation, what is there to eat?
Right.
And if we're on vacation, it was a bad vacation if the food was bad. I mean, food was such an important thing. So when we first got started, I think both of us felt a little lost.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second, food is not our idol anymore, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, how can we enjoy food, enjoy our family, and still make the right decisions, And it just took a little time,
For sure.
To slowly phase it in. But we got there, and then we just kind of stuck with it. I've started doing a lot more walking along with him.
Nice.
He walks our dog every night, and I just refused to do it. I just had no energy at night, so I started walking with him. And we try to walk, each night and walk the dog,
Nice.
And just enjoy that time together. So, and we're definitely more active, doing more things with the grandbaby, staying busy. We just went on a cruise with my daughter and son-in-law and grandbaby. I was able to carry her everywhere
Nice.
we went. We'd walk up and down the stairs, and I would carry her. And I just was so thankful. I remember walking down those stairs thinking, I can keep up. I'm not hurting anywhere.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Man. Dee Dee, I'm just like, you just have the new life. I can hear it in your voice, and it's so cool that you're able to make this kind of change. And I really do hear the resounding message that, your husband is here in spirit in this conversation because of how massive a part he was. And, you guys have kind of shifted your whole culture. And I think it was really profound what you said about even changing your relationship to the food, where it used to be your source of enjoyment. It was an idol of sorts. It was a place where you guys would always lean into. And now your mindset's clearly shifted, where it's a little more about like fuel and good nutrition, but at the same time you like it, right? I know you like your sandwich, or you wouldn't have eaten it all the time. And so that's cool that you found that balance point between, the feeling great and also enjoying the plan too. And what you shared about eating out, I hope people were taking some notes, like study the menu and also split something like the fajitas. You can always get the protein, the veggies. That was really great. Makes a lot of sense to me.
That's right. Yes, definitely so.
Okay, so how about water intake? Did you make any changes there? Or were you drinking a lot of water, or did you change that?
Definitely so. Now that was hard for my husband. He's still not on board with all the water, but he's doing better than he used to. But for me, I start off the morning, like you recommended, get rehydrated in the morning. And then during the day, trying to rehydrate, during the day as I drive and on the way back home. I was a big Diet Coke drinker.
Yeah.
I call it diet poison.
Right.
And so just to put away the Diet Cokes, I actually got off of them 100% for the first 3 months. and said, I got to put everything down, what all these bad things I've got to put down. So now every once in a while I enjoy now a Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Coke or whatever, but it's not to the extent
Yeah.
that I was before. I would drink like 2 liters probably every 3 days or
Yeah.
something of soft drinks. That's
For
ridiculous,
sure.
And what harm was I doing to my body? I mean, I was constantly dehydrated.
Yep.
But now, I don't have the headaches anymore. I just have more energy. Keeping the hydration up, I think, has really, really helped. And I can tell on those days where I kind of back off and maybe on the weekends I don't do as good.
Right.
My weight will pop up a little bit. So I can tell, and I just don't feel as good. I really feel better when I'm better hydrated.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm glad you made that a big part of your life. And it seems like it helps just keep you mindful of like healthy living because you're like water, and it's got a nice little reminder. And I want to ask you about some non-scale victories, things you accomplished that weren't necessarily related to this scale. Obviously, carrying around your granddaughter is just a powerful visual, especially considering what it was like to hold her when she was just a newborn at 8 pounds and your elbows were hurting. Any other non-scale victories, friends and family making comments or stuff you've seen at work or just anything else you've noticed that's been really cool?
Definitely so. Of course, all the health benefits. That's definitely a major win for me. But I think just changing that mindset of women are so mean to themselves. Like our negative self-talk in there, I didn't realize how bad it was. And when I first started losing weight and things were getting a little baggy, like in my scrubs, I had one of my friends say, okay, Dee Dee, I think it's time that you get a new pair of scrubs. Like these are way too big. And so I remember going to find some new scrubs, and of course I didn't know what size I needed now at this point. And just the emotional part of actually getting those large pants now instead of the 2X and just, not a 2X shirt anymore. Now we're a large shirt and just almost crying as I'm trying on these new clothes because every time when I before would go try on new clothes, it would go get me something bigger,
Right.
Then I'd just leave because I'd be so frustrated and grossed out by myself.
Yeah.
And just that mindset of changing of don't beat yourself up. You're in this journey and then to finally ask for, hey, go get me something smaller.
Yeah.
Quit bringing me this big stuff. That was such an amazing thing. And I think that helped my confidence. It definitely helped with that negative self-talk. Don't be so mean to yourself just because of a size. But yes, definitely that, friends and family saying, wow, you look so much better. You look younger.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot. You just seem like you have more energy, more alive. Just a blessing. It really is. But, I think to me, the biggest thing is just getting my health back.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing. It really is.
Yeah.
And I know I've lost like 5 inches in my stomach since I started, 2.5 inches in both legs, 1 inch in my arms, and 3.5 inches in my buttocks.
Nice.
So, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's got to just feel good.
And I just love numbers. I guess it's just the nurse in
for
me,
sure.
I like that compare and contrast, like, okay, this is where I started. Here's where I am now. And, it really helps to not just watch the numbers on the scale,
For sure.
do those measurements on your arms before you start, or your legs or your belly, and, and all the other non-scale, victories that come with it. It's just one after another.
Absolutely
beautiful. But I think definitely having a more positive attitude and not so mean to myself, like why are you not losing weight? Why are you not getting, you're always going to fail at this. And I'm finally not failing. It's amazing.
It is really beautiful. Now I want you to reflect back to what your mindset was maybe in the first 30 days or after signing up. I mean, you were kind of scared when you were signing up, like trigger finger, might have diabetes, like there was some fear there. Kind of walk me through some mindset and some of your mental talk and like the beginning of the journey, maybe 30 days in, and then we kind of have a good picture of now, but kind of, if you can remember, how did the mindset slowly or maybe quickly start to shift? What were some of the phases, if you can remember back to what you were thinking?
Definitely I was feeling more positive about things because I was actually sticking with it.
Yeah.
You know, there were some days I would fall off the wagon. You know, I'd have a little Snicker bar,
Yeah.
or I would, you know, those kind of things. I know when my husband would start losing weight before me, or a little bit, you know, men just lose it faster.
Yeah.
That's just is what it is. But I remember that negative self-talk, and I remember I'd go get on the treadmill and run on the treadmill for a little bit and do
Yeah.
the HIIT thing, you know, hit exercise, and just negatively talk to myself, so mean, you know, gosh, you're so fat.
Yeah.
How come you're not losing weight like him? How come, you know, and for that mindset to change, you know, and I told him when I got off the treadmill, I'm like, I'm so mean to myself. Well, I've got to stop that. I've got to be nice to me. I'm nice to everyone else. I just need to change that for me. And he said, you know, I'm proud of you. You're doing great. You know, please stop that negative self-talk. You know, just because I'm losing a little more weight before you, that's okay.
Yeah.
And just to learn to slow down. It's okay. You know, I guess I wanted those instant results, like right now, this minute. And I wasn't getting it, you know, and so I was getting frustrated, but it started finally slowly coming off. And I think within the first 30 days, I think I lost 15 to 20 pounds, I believe. I can't remember exactly how much, but so then after that, you know, just learning to talk, you know, better to myself and encourage myself. And that's another thing that's wonderful is the Facebook group that we have, just to get on there and say those things to everybody. Hey, you know, today I'm frustrated. Hey, today I messed up. Hey, today I did great. You know, it's wonderful to have that support on Facebook.
Yeah, really well said. And I'm going to reflect a couple of things that I learned just from listening to you there. One is like, it's a process to change your mindset. And it kind of happened like first you make the commitment that I want to change and I want to do something different. Then you like learn this period of really reading the meal plan and finding some things that work. And then there's a point where you get enough results. So for you, it was probably those first 30 days of losing the 15 to 20 pounds where you're like, okay, something's finally happening. And then from there, you're kind of switched into a little more of a positive. And then you just need to be aware when that self-talk is coming up. And then of course, sharing with other people, like venting when you feel a certain way, but also like encouraging someone else, I feel like is a way to almost encourage ourselves. Like when we reflect goodness and positivity on someone else, whether or not we make a comment on Facebook, we're just thinking it kind of trains us to be a little nicer with ourselves too. So I think there's this whole, we're all in this together in a deep sense of the word, you know?
That's correct. Definitely so. And the ladies on the Facebook, you know, group are so encouraging and just come on, stick with it. You're doing good. Keep going. It's definitely a big help to have that support.
Okay. So I have a question for you now. It's kind of a fun one. When your granddaughter is like 12, 13, 14, 15, she's getting into her teenage years and maybe she's starting to understand things more and think, like, what kind of stuff would you teach her about health? Whether it's like stuff that you know from your profession or from this program, like what would you kind of instruct her to, what's important to know to take care of herself?
Definitely the hydration. And at that age, you know, girls, you know, are so programmed by our society. You know, you got to be skinny, you got to be perfect, you got to be this, you got to be that. And just let her know you don't have to be all those things. You take care of yourself, get exercise that you need, get the water intake. She's already, I've already feeding her avocados. Nice. So when she comes over, we have avocados together.
That's good. That's good.
So, you know, just eating the right things. And, you know, raising my kids, we didn't nutritionally do the right things. We followed the American diet. Let's do the grease diet, drive through, just garbage. Yeah. And I even told my son, I said, I have to apologize. You know, being a nurse, I should have fed you kids better. I feel some guilt about that. But I said, you know, let me teach you what I've learned. Yeah. And so I've been teaching him, you know, okay, this is how you feel better. Because I noticed he was having some of the issues where he would get shaky and, you know, just, you know, not have the sustenance there. And so he said, Mom, you and Dad are kind of trickling off on me. He's at college. He said, guess what I had? I had a roll up, you know, with chicken and salad. And so he's making better decisions and feeling better too. So I think the same thing with the grandbaby when she gets of that age, just helping her have a more positive outlook or what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Positive relationship with food and her body.
Yeah, that's so beautifully said. And I think what I got from that is, one, it's like never too late. It wasn't too late for you to get your health back, or too late for you still to teach your son some things. And then the value of family culture is now your grandbaby, she's going to get it off the bat, better influences versus needing to take decades to figure this stuff out. So I think that's just so cool that your goodness and your success is trickling down to all people in your family. That's awesome. So I want to ask you, what's next for you? Like, as you're looking at maybe the rest of this year, or stuff you want to focus on, or habits you want to improve, stuff you want to shift, like what's on your docket?
I still want to lose 20 pounds.
Okay.
My son's going to get married next June, so that's kind of my goal.
Nice.
to be the cute mom,
Heck yeah.
that's lost all the weight.
That's awesome.
But definitely want to keep working on losing 20 more pounds. That'll get me down to like the 145
Nice.
pound range, somewhere around in there. Try to exercise more. I've been doing the Apex 10, is killing me.
Yeah, like most people, you're not alone.
Exactly. And to compare and contrast with that, when I first started in September, I couldn't even get up to like level 7, and then I couldn't even come back down. I would barely make it to 7, and that was it. And I just kind of gave up on it. Once I started back here recently, now I can go all the way up to 10 and back down. That takes forever.
Wow.
And I'm sore, but I can do it.
That's cool.
So again, just physically, I want to get stronger because, as a nurse, I'm moving patients around. I'm at risk of hurting shoulders, hurting back, hurt my back, those kind of things. So I definitely want to get stronger so I don't have those injuries, later on.
Yeah.
Definitely so.
So cool. Well, I mean, you're well on track to accomplish all of those goals. I want to give you big kudos and props for being able to get up and down the Apex 10 pyramid. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we gave that to most high schoolers, they wouldn't have a chance to get up and down an Apex 10 pyramid. So let's put it in context of how fit you actually are, even though you feel like you're not exercising as much as you'd like to. So that's really saying something. And I want to ask you now, kind of towards the end of this, what advice do you have for ladies who are starting out, or also anything you'd like to share to ladies in the community who have supported you and cheered you on?
You just got to make that decision to start. And, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I just felt like I have failed and failed and failed over and over with trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the right tools that I needed.
Yeah.
And I think, once you get plugged into this program, you're going to have everything you need.
Yeah.
You have the exercise there for you. You have the meal plan for you. You have meal timing there for you. You have the hydration. I mean, you have everything you need to win.
Yeah.
And if I can do it, I know anybody else can do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to talk today is just to encourage others, because I felt like I have failed so many times. This is finally worked for me, and I know if I can do it, anybody else can.
That's beautiful. Very encouraging. And I mean, wonderful. I mean, that's perfect. And I know that because you were here sharing what you did, there's going to be another woman who listened to this, who felt the same way, like they failed, that will take up this program, get successul, and then come on here in a year and be like, if I could do it, you can do it. So this is
That's right.
This is the chain of goodness that gets passed along. I love that. And I guess in closing, I want to ask you, what does it mean to you now to be a fit mother, or even a fit grandmother?
It's just, I don't even have words for it. It's just such a blessing to be able now to keep up with the grandbaby, not have the pain, and like you said, to change that family tree of poor eating, poor nutrition, and maybe even change the family tree of diabetes. I just don't want that to trickle down to my kids. So I just have been very blessed during this, and just to change my family tree and have my family start changing and getting healthier. It's just a blessing to me.
Well, I got to say, it's a blessing to me to be able to speak with you today and just hear about your wonderful success. Like, you fill my heart up as someone who created this thing, but it only has soul and spirit because people like you use it, and it changes your life so profoundly. So you have a sincere and deep thanks from me and my Fit Mother team, Dee Dee. Just really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, thank you guys so much. Everybody on your team is great. And just wonderful. Keep it up.
We will. Promise, Dee Dee. Thank you so much.